Let's talk about something men rarely speak about, but every man struggling in silence needs to hear. Men's mental health is not optional, it's survival. If you have been in a toxic relationship with a narcissistic woman, if you have been gaslit, blamed, manipulated, isolated, or broken down, your mental health didn't just take a hit, it took a beating. And here's the truth. Men aren't taught how to heal. Men are taught how to endure. But endurance without direction becomes destruction. So in this video, I'm breaking down the real psychology of men's mental health, why narcissistic women target certain men, what their abuse does to your nervous system, and most importantly, how to reclaim your mind, your peace, and your identity. If you want to understand why you feel the way you feel and how to rise again, this podcast episode is for you. Welcome to the Narc Free Man Podcast. Welcome back to the Narc Free Man Podcast. I'm your host, Philip Dugas. Let's start with the reality most men won't say out loud. Men have been conditioned to hide their damage. From a young age, we are told to man up or stop being soft or handle it or don't talk about feelings. And because of that conditioning, men do three dangerous things. The first thing is we endure pain instead of expressing it. The second thing is we normalize chaos because we grew up around it. The third thing is we confuse suffering with strength. And female narcissists know this. They weaponize it. A man who won't express his pain becomes the perfect target. He'll hide the abuse, rationalize her behavior, and blame himself before ever admitting she's the problem. So if you have been suffering silently, there's nothing wrong with you. You were conditioned to respond that way. Now let's break down the science. A narcissistic woman manipulates you through your nervous system, not your logic. She creates a loop of dopamine during love bombing, cortisol during chaos, adrenaline during arguments, oxytocin during apologies or intimacy. Now this loop becomes addictive, even when it's painful. You don't stay because you are weak. You stay because your biology is hijacked. And this is why you miss her even though she hurt you. You crave her even though she disrespected you. You second guess yourself even after proof. You feel confused, drained, and addicted to clarity she never gives. And this isn't love. This is neurochemical bondage. Understanding this is the first step to breaking free. Most men don't realize they are mentally collapsing until it's too late. Here are the most common signs you have been psychologically impacted by a female narcissist. The first sign is chronic overthinking. Your brain replays conversations because she trained you to doubt your perception. Second one is emotional numbness. You are not cold, you're just emotionally exhausted. The third thing is loss of drive. When all your energy goes into surviving her, nothing is left for your purpose. The fourth thing is hypervigilance. You are scanning for danger even when she's not around. The fifth thing is identity loss. You don't remember who you were before her, and that's because she slowly stripped away your confidence, your hobbies, your friendships, your voice, and your masculinity. Brother, these aren't personality flaws. They are symptoms of emotional warfare. So let's talk about why high-value men often attract narcissistic women. Here's the twist nobody talks about. Strong men attract narcissistic women more often than weak men. Why? Because you are empathetic, you are a provider, you are stable, you want to fix problems, you believe in loyalty, you don't quit easily, you lead with heart and not manipulation. These qualities make you a good man, but they also make you a prime target. A narcissistic woman sees your strength and thinks, I can drain that, or I can control that, or I can use that. She wants a man with resources, resilience, and reputation. Not because she loves him, but because she wants to feed off him. Your strength didn't attract her love. Your strength attracted her need. And there's always a moment when a man realizes, I'm losing myself. For some men, it's a panic attack, a breakdown in the shower, your kid asking why you look sad, a friend saying you don't seem like you anymore, a moment of clarity where her mask slips. That moment isn't weakness, it's the beginning of your return. Because here's the truth. Men don't leave narcissistic women when they get tired of her. Men leave when they get tired of themselves. So how do you start healing from that?
If you are listening to this podcast right now, you already know what it feels like to be stuck in the cycle, walking on eggshells, explaining yourself, and losing your peace, piece by piece. That's why I wrote my book, How to Lead a Female Narcissist. It's not theory, it's a step-by-step plan to help you break free from the manipulation, rebuild your confidence, and finally walk away with clarity and power. If you are tired of starting over every time she love bombs you back in, this book will show you exactly how to break that bond for good. Go to my website, philipcdugas.com, or just click the link in the show notes below and grab your copy today. Now back to the show.
Look, healing isn't a feeling. Healing is a framework. Here are the pillars. Nervous system regulation. Talking breathing, movement, routine, habits, rituals, and good sleep. That alone stabilizes the chaos she created. And then identity rebuilding, you're going to ask yourself things like, who was I before her? And who do I want to become now? You need to rebuild the man she tried to erase and become even better. The next thing is making sure you have standards that you set for yourself. For example, just give her short, factual communication and block her if you can. The fourth thing is men heal faster with other men because isolation was her weapon. And I believe that community is the cure. Men fear healing because healing requires honesty. Honesty about how much pain you are really in, or how much chaos you tolerated, and how much of yourself you sacrificed, how lonely you feel, how ashamed you are, how scared you are of leaving, how scared you are of staying. Brother, healing isn't about perfection, it's about liberation. So what does true healing look like? You'll know you are healing when her texts no longer trigger panic. When silence feels peaceful, not empty. When you stop explaining yourself. When you stop trying to prove your worth. When you start dreaming again. When you feel strong in your solitude. When your future becomes more important than your past. This is the rebirth of a man. This is the ascent back into your masculine power. Now stay with me, brother, because the strongest men you know, they weren't born confident. They rebuilt themselves from rock bottom, just like you are doing right now. Now, men, your mental health is not a luxury. It's not optional. It's not a side project. It is the foundation of your entire future. And if you are recovering from a toxic relationship, you are not crazy, weak, broken, or behind. You are a man fighting his way out of psychological captivity, and you can win. If today's episode hit home for you, do me one favor. Subscribe to the Narc Freeman podcast on YouTube. Every week, I release the raw truth men never hear about mental health, trauma bonds, female narcissists, toxic relationships, and rebuilding your masculine identity. And if you are ready to reclaim your peace, your clarity, and your strength, you are in the right place. So hit subscribe, join the tribe, and remember, stay calm, stay steady, and stay narc free. I'll see you in the next podcast episode.